Starting seeds indoors is what's going to take your garden to the next level. I'm going to be walking you through the whole process, from containers that you'll need to your setup indoors, and I'll be including all the links that you need to make this process as easy and simple as can be. First things first, let's talk containers. If you search seed starting trays on Amazon, most likely you'll get something like this. While these are great, they're very small, so they're good for maybe starting herbs or greens. But if you're ready to start tomatoes, peppers, or any other larger plant, you're gonna wanna use a bigger container. The most cost efficient I found is a solo cup. You can buy a big pack of it, cut some holes on the bottom, and then you reuse them every season. The way you're gonna cut some holes is by just snipping off a couple of the edges like this. This will last you years. Next thing is what you're gonna be putting inside those containers. So if you're a new gardener, you just automatically think, okay, dirt, that's what I plant seeds in. However, you wanna have the best conditions for your seeds to grow. So you wanna start off with something like seed starting mix. And the reason why is because a lot of dirt and compost is filled with organisms that are gonna attack your plants and possibly inhibit the growth of your seedlings. You can go to any store and buy pre-made seed starting mix. However, if you're starting a lot of seeds, this can get costly. So I'm gonna show you how to make your own seed mix. It's pretty simple and you can make it in bulk and save it for next season. Seed starting mix only has 3 ingredients: perlite, peat moss, and earthworm castings. If you can't get perlite, get vermiculite, and if you can't get peat moss, get cocoa coir. Just mix these 3 ingredients all together in a wheelbarrow, and that'll be your bulk seed starting mix. And if you have extra, just save it in a black bag for next season. Now you're ready to start filling up your containers and setting up your trays. Now you can use any tray. They sell seeds starting trays online or at the store. You can even get aluminum baking trays. So be creative. I'm just reusing some IKEA bins that we no longer use. Fill up your container about halfway and then completely soak this with water. The seed starting mix is naturally hydrophobic, which means it repels water. So once you start watering, you're gonna see that the water doesn't fully soak in. So this is why you don't wanna skip this step. It's very important to soak the first half and then fill up the rest and completely soak that as well so they're ready for your seeds. We have made it to the exciting part of actually getting your seeds in your containers. If you made it this far, give my video a thumbs up. It will greatly support my channel and the work I'm doing on just teaching others how to garden. I feel like this has been something that was definitely more common back in the day that people have forgotten about and just feel a lot of hesitation and confusion on how to grow their own food. So I think that it is coming back because people want to have quality food. Now, before you start sowing your seeds, you're gonna want something to mark your seedlings with. This is an important step. A lot of people skip this step because it's just tedious or whatever, but I highly recommend not to skip this step, especially if you're growing many different varieties of something. So for example, I personally love to grow tomatoes. Once you eat a homegrown tomato, there's nothing that compares to a homegrown tomato. I like to try different varieties of tomatoes. And if I don't mark my tomatoes, I won't know what that variety is until it actually gives me the tomato. One of the varieties that I'm gonna be growing this year is called Cherokee Purple Tomato. It is one of the best tomatoes I have ever tried. I bought a plant last year, and it was just delicious. So I saved seeds from that plant in these little cute, my own little seed saving packets. So after I made my label, I'm gonna go ahead and label each container, and in each container, I'm gonna put 2 to 3 seeds max. After they have germinated, they start growing really well, you want to remove and just leave one strong big one so they don't compete for space or nutrients. But just so that you have more than one, just in case they don't germinate, you can put 2, 3 max in each cup. If you put them on opposite ends of the cup, you might be able to get away with keeping 2 of them if they're growing a little bit spaced apart, and then you have 2 per cup. After you have sown all your seeds for your tray, cover it in plastic wrap. This will act as a little mini greenhouse. Will keep the humidity in to help with germination. once the seeds have sprouted, you can go ahead and remove this. One thing you may be wondering is, since they're covered in saran wrap, is how you're gonna water them. I will pour water directly into the tray. Since there's holes on the bottom of each container, it will basically absorb the water from the tray and just kind of bottom water or bottom feed. I don't really know the term, but that's how you're gonna water your seedlings until they're germinated. Then you can remove them, but I still find it easier and better to water from the bottom up, because it will, well, first prevent any kind of mold that may grow on top of the seed starting mix if it's left moist all the time. And also the seedlings are very fragile, so you know, if you water them too strongly, they may fall over, and it's not good for them. So bottom watering is the best. Now for your indoor seed starting station, you're essentially going to need a shelf and some lights. For shelves, there's many different options. You can use what you have. You can order like a mini greenhouse kind of kit over Amazon. This year I upgraded my shelf. I want to have lots of space to start seeds, because I'm going to be not only growing for my own garden, but for a school garden. And I also want to be able to give out to any neighbors that are interested in gardening. As for lights, so this is where it gets tricky, because you're going to search on Amazon grow lights, and these $100 lights are going to come up. And while I'm not bashing them, they may be great, they're not in my budget right now. So the next best thing is what's called shop lights. Now these will do just as good as grow lights, and they're very, very inexpensive. I'm gonna put the link down below in the description, but these are about $20 each. They range in different sizes, so you can order what's gonna fit for your shelf. But essentially you will put your seeds on your shelf and watch them grow, remove the wrapping. Once they have germinated, you may want to invest in also some heating mats if necessary, if your house is very cold. If you want to keep learning on how to garden and take your garden up to the next level, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening.